let's truck along to our next topic on the line. Okay, pastors gone wild in Nigeria this year. I'll just do one pastor, Pastor Chris Oyakilome of the Christ Embassy Ministries, and his what's the word now? His dislike for the 5G network. I think as a
Where?
pastor,
Who?
you need to stick to your jurisdiction, which is, reading the Bible, doing some in-depth analysis, and then breaking it down for us that don't want to spend the same time to read the Bible. But going into 5G technology and politics, also the issue of that this Black Lives Matter was because they wanted to put chips inside us, so that I'm like, bro, there is no basis for the claims that you're making, and you have a large following that take whatever you say hook, line, and sinker.
I think that's where my issue is, that there are the followership is my issue. You have many people that you are a leader to. Before you open your mouth and talk, vet the information with yourself. Think about it. Pray. And when you feel somehow about it, you keep quiet. Because now, this whole 5G thing has finished, right? Excuse me. The whole Black Lives Matter thing, it has died down in the sense of the riots are not happening again and all that.
Right.
Now, everything has finished. Pastor Chris, what do you have to say about it? And funny enough, my issue with Pastor Chris is that all this Internet of Things that he was talking about, the information he is giving, he's transmitting his information via technology. The
Right.
way he sounds like he's completely against technology. But then you're using this same technology to pass this information around. I know, okay, maybe you're not using 5G yet, but my issue is this 4G you're using or 3G. Couldn't they have just put the thing there and given us? Me, I think there's just this whole the conspiracy theory this year has just been so thick. It's like
Mm-hmm.
people just want to have latch on something because it's unbelievable that we could have a year where there was an illness that ended, like, stop things from happening. Because now is vaccine chip that we are talking. I don't know what Pastor Chris has to say about this one now, because now they have moved from 5G transmission to chip in the vaccine to full controllers. And I keep on saying that even to Pastor Chris, if you ever listen, that if they wanted to use that one to control, they are, in fact, they are controlling us. So with our mobile
Exactly.
phones,
Thank
they are
you.
controlling us since we are being controlled. So let's, like, my issue with him is where, like, he did all that analysis and I didn't see the, because I watched the whole video. I didn't see the end. I didn't see the end.
Hmm.
And in all these pastors that are talking about this revelation, they made me. I went to go and read this because I've been scared of revelation. I think I said it one time. I've been scared of revelation all my life. I went to go and read that revelation. I'm not even seeing all the things. In fact, most of the revelation self is not even talking. Why didn't they hammer on the point in Revelation where they talk about the pastors that are deceiving the generation? Why didn't they talk
Mm-hmm.
about that? Because that is in Revelation. In the same Revelation, why didn't they talk about the fact that even the person that will come and uh, turn the world to the other side will be somebody that
Yes.
people even see as a hero, that and a
Yes.
good person. And I look at Pastor Chris. I say, Pastor, you might be like, if I'm looking at the revelation definition of the person that will come and deceive us, you're a culprit. So in fact, I was so disappointed in Pastor Chris. Why I was is because I take him as a pastor that is quite learned to a point of not
Yeah, with the fune.
doing doing I'm a man of war of love. You understand? At least no shade thrown, but at least I thought pedigree, the fun everything, and then he
Fune
was breaking
deceived
this
us,
down.
and Jerry Coils.
Abba,
It's an Edo man now.
Abba,
It's not but adding all this, Jerry Coils and
it's
accents.
true.
That's the problem. Marketing, no ni.
That's it. That's it. No, I was so disappointed, really. I was disappointed. And he has thousands, if not millions of
Yeah.
followers.
I
That
feel
is
like
the
he
problem.
has almost a cult. Like I know people say redeem, but there's almost a cult like following for him in the
Yeah, for
sense
his
that I know
church.
that quite a
Yes.
few men in it either adopt the accent or adopt the Jerry Coils.
Bro.
I don't know
His
men in
hairs,
RCCG that are wearing or are cutting hair like Papa
mm,
Adeboye. As in,
the
I don't know that.
The time I went near Christ Embassy Church, I was dumbfounded. I said, "What am I seeing here?" Pastor Chris in like dozens and trillions, just
Exactly.
just roaming
Yeah,
around. I'm like, What's the meaning of this?" Like, it's more of like there's no individualism. There's more of a
Yeah.
worshiping of the person,
Yeah.
and
pastor.
and
Yeah,
and that is what has made me never like I've never been interested in Christ Embassy because it
that's
seemed to
the
me like okay, Pastor, because
cult
before
like.
Pastor Kish climbs the pulpit, the person that led the prayer session and the person that led the praise and worship, their hair is all permed
Jerry
and to the
Coils.
back.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that a criteria to be a worker in this church or something? Like, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry to say, it was a big disappointment for me. Huh. Hmm.
If I'm sorry, if I do you want to add something before I touch on maybe one more pastor issue, then we'll go into politics.
You guys, you know my stand on religion and the church, so I think it's better if I keep quiet. So just
You know what? Let's just kind. Actually, I do want to say something about Daddy Freeze. So I think also earlier in the year when they brought this law with Kama that churches had to
okay.
have that basically if the government thought that there was some sort of financial misappropriation happening in a church, that they could come in and dissolve the church board while they investigate, what's happening. And I think Pastor Oyedepo was very vocal in saying that that's not going to happen,
Mm,
that the government can't control the church. And I think that the freeze used some very derogatory words to insult um pastors, saying that if you didn't have anything to hide, in essence, why are
why
you
are
so afraid
you?
of this?
Yeah.
And then one pastor, I think Pastor BME or something, I think he's a Port Harcourt based
If why
pastor.
are you
Yeah,
laughing?
um I
that guy
think,
has bad mouth.
yeah, I think he too now fired back to
Mm,
Daddy Freeze. And I think Lala put did a Lala Akin Doju, I think is her name.
mm-hmm,
They did a post saying that even if Freeze had crossed the line as a pastor with a platform, it's not the Christian way to respond to insults with insults,
mm,
right? And what I wanted to kind of touch on here was basically more on Daddy Freeze, in that I feel like the way he communicates is completely uncouth, right?
Mm.
You can
yeah.
like, while I appreciate the awareness that he has brought to the fact of where is our tithe going,
Mm,
right? Should we feel scared that if we don't have money for food, we should not still
Yeah,
tithe from, like, to me, I feel like God is understanding. If you don't have
yeah,
money, will God now
mm,
punish you or thunder now strike you because you now you withheld it, your tithe so that you can balance for the week? Do you get what I'm saying?
mm.
So, but part of making it seem like, as you're withholding from that
It's
time,
a sin.
you're stealing from God, that thunder will strike you,
Mm,
all those scare tactics, right? So I appreciate him for bringing that to the forefront. I think there's also something to be said about, if there's no financial higi haga happening in your church, why are you so
why are you
concerned about?
hiding?
Yeah, but his communication method is always, I think he does it to
yeah,
like, to for it to go viral, right?
yeah.
He
Mm,
can't. I think even in this particular instance, he actually ended up, I think, apologizing maybe. But
Mm.
again, like, you're an adult over 40 with kids, right? Even I've seen sometimes where, like, maybe on his page, maybe someone disagrees with what he's saying in terms of maybe a Bible verse, maybe something
mm,
maybe, like, let me take tithing. Maybe he says, you don't have to tithe, and then someone is like, well, in my church, I believe in, tithing because, God said XYZ. Rather than educate
Yeah.
or ignore, it tends to be an insult, like you're a dingbat. You are a
mm,
I'm like, this is unnecessary.
mm.
Unnecessary. Even as you, as a Christian that you claim to be, is quite unnecessary for it to respond. So again, Pastor B and me, I'm disappointed in you because, again, you're a Christian, but that if you can't keep poking the bear and then hoping that people will not hide behind I'm a Christian to not fire back, right?
But then I get what you're saying with Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze's problem is that he's very opinionated, which is fine. But then don't
Yeah.
expect your opinions to be accepted by all.
Yeah.
Everyone. Hmm.
Even the non-Christians, the atheists or everything, don't expect your opinion. You have an opinion, that's fine, that's well and good. You have a lot of people too are unsure of you because they are everybody is scared. If pastors have failed them, it's like, Daddy Freeze, what is your agenda?
Yeah.
You too, because you're creating a like a movement and all that. What is
Are
your
you the
agenda? So
Antichrist?
exactly.
You
So
know?
please just give your own 2 cents and move on. You don't need to cause problem. But then with Pastor of PH, I've forgotten his name. My issue with him is that then find you come. Nobody find you come. He kept on saying, insult me if you want, but then don't insult my father. Do you have a father? That's how he proceeded to say that the priest doesn't have father. My question is the fact that they directed a questioning or something at one point to Daddy Oyedepo. Why
Yeah.
are you carrying Daddy Oyedepo's problem on your head? Because
As a son.
as the son who beg you message, like it's like Daddy Oyedepo is untouchable. He cannot make mistakes. So we must fight for Daddy Oyedepo because Daddy Oyedepo is a saint and will not respond to you. But on behalf of Daddy Oyedepo Ministry,
The son,
will,
the son of
and sons will fight for. Like, calm down. Like, okay. So,
I
what
think
should your members do? Your members, when their neighbor fights them, they should not turn the other cheek or what? Like, what is the lesson
let me
here?
tell you something. You guys, you're forgetting Port Harcourt people. Don't play with them.
Sorry,
Whether
I forgot where
pastor,
it's coming from.
I think Freeze expected it because maybe he was expecting Oyedepo, but he got the son.
The son that is from a wicked government. Oh my God.
No, that pastor, I was shocked because I'm like, I didn't expect it to.
Ah, no, it was a big insult. The insult was so heavy. I could not believe it. I said, hey, Pastor, huh? Salvation Ministry. You can imagine. And the man looked calm and collected. I didn't know that. Just like I made you,
It's a
who is
war.
the thief? No, no, no. But then Freeze needs to
Wow.
calm down sometimes. Like, you don't need to poke at everything. I think a lot of people focus on poking instead of just showing love and spreading love and
Right.
showing things. It's not about it, like there are only few people that are war people, and we know them. And we know anything they give us, we will take it because they've already won us. But you can't be. So are you saying that because what is he promoting? Sometimes that the free seems to be promoting hate to anything he doesn't agree with
Agree with.
or
Yeah.
anyone. He promotes hate. But why
Yeah,
don't we promote the fact that these people, maybe these pastors, don't know any better, and it's sad for them.
mm,
Let's pray for them too, because they need to learn to do better so that they don't deceive a massive foe. But then you're just fighting every minute you fight. It's not as if Nigerians don't know that these people are doing funny things.
yeah.
They know. So I get where he's coming from, but then he needs to say it in a very he needs to be right. Like, don't call somebody out for being a sinner if you as well you're a sinner. That
That's
is
the
the thing.
point.
So you
Exactly.
cannot you don't have I believe in the Bible it says is do not judge. If you have skeletons in your closet, why would
Skeleton.
you open your mouth and
Yeah.
be doing one 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 like that?
Right.
Ah, anyway, good luck to him, Daddy Freezer and his ministry or whatever is concerning.
That's really anyway. Let's segue into the political, and we'll start with NSAS. So this year, for maybe the first time in our generation, and maybe in a few generations, or maybe
Yeah.
um, the Nigerian youth mainly came out to protest police brutality in
Mm,
Nigeria. And what started out as 2 weeks of peaceful protesting because the government wasn't really responding in any decisive way. They were giving the same stories of before. Okay, we have dissolved.
yeah.
You've dissolved several times, yet they are still committing atrocities,
Mhm.
right? So because the government wasn't making any credible moves towards addressing people's needs,
Yeah.
the youth kept protesting. And after 2 weeks of the youth protesting, the government got tired and decided to take some decisive actions by more or less setting the military against the people. Now that is the allegation of the people. The government is claiming that that did not happen and that nobody died on
Mm,
October 20th, when the military and the people clashed at the Lekki toll gate. Since then, I think the movement has by and large died down. I don't
mm,
Yeah.
think I've seen any sort of, SARS is still alive.
mm,
Mm.
The news, is it SWAT too, is maybe still
Yeah.
alive as well. Insecurity in the north still at an all-time high. So it just seems like we didn't maybe achieve
What we
much
wanted.
as
Yeah.
far as what we were demanding.
mm,
However, I think that maybe the success was in creating awareness.
mm,
Now the concern will be, is can that awareness momentum be kept all the way to 2023?
mm.
That's where the key deciding factor, I think, um, happens with the NSARS. But maybe I will start with, why, was it COVID? Why do you think we were ready to die on the line
Mm.
for NSARS in 2020? Was it this, students being at home? Was it the goodies at the Lekki toll?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think it was everything. Yeah. COVID made, like, for me personally, COVID made me more confident. It made me more bold. It made me like just live in the moment. Because I mean, people
Right.
are just dying around you. So it's like, you know what? I mean, if I can do something in this short period, because nobody knows when anybody's
True.
going. So
Yeah.
I think COVID definitely. If there was no COVID, I don't think, I don't think that. Unfortunately, I don't think it would have happened. You know.
Fair.
I think this year, especially, like every single year in Nigeria is hard for generally for the population. This year, especially for the fact that it was hard everywhere else, you don't even have hope as a Nigerian. It's
Yeah.
hard. So I think that contributed massively, and the fact that the protests were done in a very coordinated manner, and there was food there when you cannot eat in your house because
Yeah.
of no job, maybe due to COVID redundancies. Why not if not, you know? And then the
Yeah.
fact that in the end, as Ife said, and I think your point is very solid in this, in the sense of when people are dying all around you. And also I would attribute it to Black Lives Matter, for the fact that Black Lives Matter gathered momentum in from the internet all around the world. So I believe Nigerian young youth decided, okay, we'll take this stand and hopefully it will impact our country in a positive manner. Which don't know, don't know how Nigeria is, because this December was not dirty, it wasn't clean, it wasn't okay. That's the
So, I
thing.
mean, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you? How confident are you that this energy is going to, you know, spur us to vote maybe differently in 2023, or do you think, it's going to be business as usual? Money is going to, because if someone hasn't eaten, telling me
Yeah.
about NSAS, I'm like, that's cute.
My
Because
issue is
back to what NSAS got right is, as I think we covered it, you could have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at no charge
yeah.
Yeah.
at some of these protest grounds.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I can
Yeah.
I can join that movement.
Mm. Huh. The issue I have is that the population, the youth population that were doing NSAS are a fraction of the real youth population that go to go and vote and make the vote count in the
Hmm.
ballot or place. Because I don't want to mention regions, but there were some regions that they were not, they were pro SARS and all that. I'm not taking, they might have a different SARS operating in their side, but what the problem is, if you're looking at the major, like the problem, the youth that were protesting, although there were many people, Nigeria, the country has a massive population, and majority of them being youth, a lot of them were not outside. a lot of them were not out there. A lot of them were against it. And if you now carry the question now is, what is the ratio of the people that were pro SARS to the people that were against SARS, or for example,
Yeah.
or the people that can be moved by the government with bags of rice to do, say, Buhari, or the ones that will say, no, I want a leader that will change things for good. That is where we have a problem. There's no unity in our voice. And it is hard for there to be unity because different places have different belief systems and cultures and things that they imbibe, that it causes problem, plus religion and everything.
For me, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, like how is this thing going to play out? I'm not going to lie. I would say maybe 6, like that, and
Mm.
that's just slightly above average because we know how Nigerians, like if you open channels, TV, AIT, talk from morning till night, no
From
action.
morning till night.
That's
So
like you just be shouting, making noise. What are you people doing? Like you're not doing. So for me, I think 2023 we're going to see, because even there was an election that happened recently, I think, and they were like everywhere was empty. So I don't know if it was just people, because it's always fear usually sometimes,
Mhm.
like if you
I
go
think it was
there,
maybe
APC.
Ondo or something had a recent
Yeah,
election, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And people didn't. No, even Lagos had one this month or last month,
mm.
Okay.
and people from that local government didn't, like, it was very empty. Nobody really
Oh,
came out.
but
Like,
can I just say something? I heard news from my state, Akwa Ibom state. In like there is more and my local government, there is more involvement of the youth. They are putting mouth
oh,
and head
okay,
inside. So
Okay.
I heard that, and I heard that from two credible sources who, like, older
yeah,
people, the older generation, who were quite impressed at the knowledge and the questioning by
yeah,
these youth that were interested in the politics, like, okay, what is happening, this is that in the
mm,
local government sector. So I think maybe it
yeah.
might depend on the
I
state,
mean,
but
your people from your side are, I trust them. But this Lagos people, Eco
me,
for
I
sure.
don't trust them. Oh,
Yeah, I
me,
don't
I
trust
don't
Lagos
trust them.
anybody.
Oh,
people,
I don't trust
I
as
don't
in
anybody.
trust people
Yeah.
from my side though,
and
because they
talk
used to
and
keep
talk and
quiet.
talk.
Huh.
Mm,
I
Oh
don't
well,
trust
like,
let's see.
anybody. Like, to your point, religion and tribe all come together in
Yes,
a
yeah,
very interesting mix when it comes to
and that is what the
Nigerian
politicians
politics.
do.
Those who are woke on Twitter, because I think one of the biggest divides is that were we able to communicate the issues to the so-called maybe
yeah,
less literate, and I don't know that we were successful in doing that.
That's the thing.
yeah.
And
That's the thing.
whether we like it or not, like, the Nigerian Twitter is not the most of Nigeria. Do you get what I'm saying?
Nope.
Yes, even if it
Voting
was
power,
Facebook, at least we'll say, okay,
yeah,
there's
the
more.
voting power are with these people that, I don't know if we're able to connect with. Number two is the North. The North remains an instrumental voting or a
Yeah,
decisive voting bloc, and
mm-hmm.
Mm.
they did not even bat an eyelid on NSAS. Maybe
Yeah,
because they are busy being killed by Boko Haram, I don't know. But they didn't really, ginger on, and maybe NSAS is not really their issue there, to be honest, because Boko Haram
mm,
is firing
Mm.
them. So maybe that's a fair thing. But the whole idea that, oh, we are in a failed government, I don't think they articulated that in the North very well.
yeah.
So we'll
Even
see.
now, like, what are the people, like? I don't know what's going on now. Like, NSAS has ended. Okay, what next? That was always my question. Like, what
Right.
next? I can't see anything that anybody's doing. So it's like people. That's like somebody was saying
And
that time that you're dying, you're wasting your time because this thing is just going to end here after a couple of days.
but is that
Mm.
related to our, because we're very, the NSAS movement with our
Mm,
elite crew was very
yeah,
big on, we're not going to have a spokesperson.
Mm.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
wonder if our, us having a not know what next is this based on the fact that, like, we had demands, but did we negotiate, or were we not willing to negotiate? Like, like, if we had
Exactly.
had a leadership, would things have panned out differently? I don't know.
Mm. If we had the leadership, the person would be in prison now.
That's a fair
So,
point.
sorry to say, that's the problem.
Or
Or
would
the
be
person
cashing
will be
out,
in government,
one of them.
a special advisor on youth affairs.
I think
Anyway,
Nigeria.
yeah.
My advice to Nigerians, both in and outside Nigeria, is this country. If it doesn't work for you, just jackpot. Fast, fast. Don't waste time. Just
Oh my
jackpot.
God, they said that's
Then,
so hard. That's so
and then
bad.
on the other hand, if you can work with the system, because I always say someone like me now, maybe because I'm an entrepreneur, I feel like if I had a 9 to 5, maybe it would be easier for me to make that decision. But with this exchange rates, like by the time I change how many million naira to pounds, like what business am I going to do? It would take me years to save maybe Canadian dollars or whatever.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if the system doesn't work for you, because in Nigeria, you need to be a hustler. If you don't know the right
Mm,
people or you don't know how to work your way to the top, you will suffer. We've seen
mm,
many people that have talent and they leave Nigeria and they're doing better. So it's like if it doesn't work for you, you need to jackpot, because this country, even in the next 50 years, unfortunately, I don't think anything is going to happen.
mm.
So it's just like you either make use of the situation you have, or if you're one of the lucky people, then you have connections. If you don't have connections and you want to actually live an okay life, like and you don't have connections, please carry your bag and be going to Canada, or I don't know,
Australia.
Egypt.
No, don't say oh, just Canada, because where is
Honestly,
the oh
because
nowadays?
this country there's money that, so if you can't enter from that national cake, or maybe you don't have family money, like that's like, unfortunately, it's just sad, but that's probably one of the best options or better options you have. Just move away. And then on the other hand, I would say, look, if you can, hustle, enter inside, collect your national cake and enjoy yourself.
Abba,
That is it.
please, this platform is not for bad advice.
Anyway, let's truck on to the next political issue. Another big one this year. NDDC, which is the Niger Delta Development
Oh, the
Commission,
fencing crew.
defending crew. So a quick high level summary. The commission was the
Because
minister of the Niger Delta, which is ex governor, current
Oh,
minister Godswill
ex-governor,
Akpabio.
ex-senator. Oh,
Yeah, thank you. He, I guess, recommended a probe of the NDDC on
hmm,
suspicion or an audit, sorry. And so to do that, they sacked the current board and put in an IMC, an interim management committee,
hmm,
with the idea that, the people who are being investigated cannot be the ones running the company while people are auditing,
yeah,
the company. Little did we know
hmm,
that the IMC really came in,
to siphon.
to fill their pockets.
Hmm,
And so what caused fight is that it seems like the head of the IMC, which is Joy Nune,
hmm,
and Godswill had a falling out, and they started slinging mud against each other. One person said that she slapped one person because he was harassing her sexually. One claimed that she stole money,
yeah.
and went back and forth like that. And so Joy was sacked.
hmm,
And in Joy's replacement, they brought in a new team
hmm,
who also. So basically, it seems like Joy's group stole, and
hmm.
then the new crew as well, which
And
had
Joyce Group,
the
sorry to just interject. Joyce Group is the interim, right?
interim, yeah,
Okay,
interim, yeah.
okay.
And then one Joy was sacked in, I think, January. They brought in this new Mr. Ponde, who
Hmm,
seemed to
Yeah.
have chopped to the point where he's fainting during a cross, a questioning session. And yeah, so he also
Jesus.
stole some money under the guys that they were, it basically seemed like money that was given to them for COVID-19 palliative
Hmm,
to
Yeah.
be distributed among the Niger Delta region and people who are in need was siphoned by this interim committee as well,
Yeah.
where they paid themselves huge palliative sums, and the people who are poor in the Niger Delta region did not get to feel the impact of this
Mm-hmm.
benefit. So that's basically a major story this year. We got some major headlines, so some major taglines like off your mic from this
hmm,
particular episode. I guess I would say this, right? We're almost a year, maybe 9 months post the whole saga,
hmm.
and the initial
Nothing.
audits, I keep on saying, like, the initial audits of the past 20 years of NDDC, we've not heard anything about the initial reason for an IMC. Not
Yeah.
heard anything about it. All of this drama, all of these billions, millions, is for
Ah,
the interim committee that sat between October 2019 and I would say maybe
And
April, May, June
yeah.
highest
yeah.
2020. All these
Hmm,
billions, millions.
hmm.
So what has happened in the last 20 years? If those things come out, we're gonna be shocked.
Hmm.
We're gonna be shocked. So please, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
This
Nigerian
is
government, somebody
serious.
needs to go inside, the House of Senate, to House of Reps to Aso Rock, just Koboko, flog everybody inside there, like flog them, because this is both past and present. Even it's ridiculous. Like what this country makes so much money, but the money that people are embezzling, I don't even know. That's all I will say. Please, Eka, continue.
Ah, how can I open my mouth like this? Wow, wow. Because we are from the Niger Delta. This guy, Godzilla Pabio, we know him from our house coming. So it's not like this drama now is not the one that taught this Ponde. The challenge I have is that these people are still in the position that they were in
They
during
were in.
this thing. These questions that they ask, sorry, I don't know how law does, because law can be very funny. The person is obviously guilty, but until proven, right? But
Mhm.
we are seeing signs. We are asking you question you cannot answer. You were
Answer.
sick. Can you come back from your sickness? Are you dead? Like, what the issue I have is that it just died down. It's
Yeah.
the same way they started. Sorry to bring back SARS. I don't know if they finished that inquiry they were doing all about and doing. They were talking in this thing and watching the video back and forth. I don't know what the outcome of the problem is. They take us for fools, or we
That's it.
allow them take us for fools. So they've come and done this Nollywood
Yeah.
blockbuster, and everybody has kept quiet.
Mm.
They are still stealing money. They are still stealing palliative. What is so painful is that if you go to the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, it is so underdeveloped, and
Yeah.
they've set up this committee based on the fact that, based on the cries of the of people of that region, that that region is the one that finances the country, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
then does not get what it's supposed to get in return.
Well,
Now they've now given you money, eh? Oh yeah, go and do something good with it. But no, we are still where we are. And the people, I even thought that, okay, maybe they have been biased and put maybe people from other regions into the NDDC. All the people that were in that panel, they were from that South region,
Yeah.
Niger Delta region. So you're doing this to your own brothers and sisters. Where do we go from here? What do we do if you people can be this wicked to us?
Mhm.
I don't know. Me, I don't know. Left to me, I will say that we have seen that it is Nigerians this thing of when the thing is hot, they will make noise. Even when EFCC catches people, they will make noise. Next minute, they will keep quiet, will not know what happens. That is why the person will come back and serve, even though the person ran
yeah.
away, like that one that was a pension boss, like
Yeah.
that. This is
Mm.
what happens. It just happens, and then all of a sudden the person even becomes our president, person becomes a governor. So that's the issue. Is that case is still standing. Nobody has said anything. Everybody moved from that to the one another thing. NSAS came, now is NIN number, like that. Just continues going. Then 2023 now they will come out. I bet you God's will, Obot Apabio will come and be want to be president, and everybody will forget
That's
that
true.
he stole
Uh,
NDDC money. Ponde will want to come and become something. Everybody will forget. Ah, no, well,
But isn't he very well liked in the? Because I heard that people in his hometown
sister,
enjoy him.
don't talk it in public. This is a place that was a PDP state, a PDP governor that put Udom there, and now he is an APC of Buhari. But don't talk it outside, because where we are now, in Akwa Ibom, they can be ready for war now because God's will did not do right by the people. To
hmm,
even deflect government to move to another party and start
hmm.
insulting. In fact, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not currently on ground, but I know from what I'm hearing that people are not happy about what Godswill did. But then, whether or not Udom is performing to the satisfaction is another question again. So I don't know. I don't. But I think, to be honest, I would say that Apabio was always somewhat liked outside more than he was liked inside.
Okay. Is
I
there a
pers-
reason for that? Because I think there was some marketing around the fact that
yes.
he liberated, people from
He
his state
did.
from
He
being
did.
house girl and
See,
houseboys or something to that.
I personally believe that because a lot of people when Apabio was in government, and even when well, was a governor, and even when he left, like the first few years, a lot of people. I would sit down and somebody from another state would be coming to ask me, why would you not
Yeah.
like your governor? And I'm like, ah, okay, mind your own state now. You know what is happening in our state.
Right.
The issue I have, the good, let me tell you Apabio's good points. It's not as if Apabio didn't do good for our Kwabum state. He did. And I give him credit for that. But then Apabio is a smart man. What does a smart man do? He will come and ask his team of project people, what can I do so that people will like me and I can use it to advertise? When did you people hear about Akwa Ibom most? It was when Apabio was there. Apabio will build a bridge or build flyover. People in Akwa Ibom, unfortunately, have not seen flyover in their life. All of them will now come and shout, "Oh, Abasimbok, see flyover, see traffic light." The problem is that the traffic light is not leading anywhere. The flyover is not making any sense. I might be wrong, oh. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but that is what me I perceive. Apabio did major projects. Those major projects made sense at in a short time. But then the
Mm,
long problem is that okay, if majority of the population in Akwa Ibom State cannot afford a car because they don't have factories or jobs to buy a
Mm,
car, then what is the point of the flyover? The flyover is only
that's
transporting the
true.
people, Apabio and his family members that are in power. So
mm,
you now later realize that oh, Apabio did well. He helped our name, but the problem is that the underlying issue is still lacking. You can't have an e-center when most people cannot afford to, like there are so many things. So I think a lot of it was show, and that's a lot of people outside looking in will say, this guy tried, at least he did something. But
mm.
then in the people living in the state, in the long run, where are the jobs? Where are the this? Where is the that? You cannot
Yeah.
build a cinema. Will you subsidize the cinema fees forever?
Yeah.
Like
True. So it was a lot of optics, I guess,
is
projects,
Yeah.
optics. Is
but
optics.
no real
Ababi is good at
impact
optics.
on the lives of the
Yeah.
citizens. Well,
Mm.
let's move on to ASU strike. I think this is a very quick one. I don't think there's too much talks involved here.
Yeah.
But ASU
Mm.
just called off their 9 or 10 month strike, I think last week. And ASU is the Association of Academic Staff
Staff. Yeah. I think staff
Union or
union or
something.
something.
Yeah. Anyway, or yeah, Academic Staff Union or something to that. The
Yeah.
university lecturers belong to the union,
Mm.
and they've been on strike for 9 to 10 months. Now, from what I'm hearing, I think the government is also recommending that schools do not, universities don't
Open.
reopen because of the
Yeah.
COVID. So basically, this whole year is gone for
Yeah.
Nigerian students as far as education is concerned. I guess I will say
But
this, right? Sorry,
yeah.
go on.
I wanted to say abroad, she is not the same. It's not the same thing.
Like one abroad, they found other ways to give classes either online,
Yeah.
because
Mm.
many of your homeworks and things are already submitted online, to
Yeah.
be
Yep.
honest. So I think it was
Exactly.
just really finding a way to give the lecture online, which I think things
Yep.
like Zoom and the rest
Yeah.
helped
Yep.
solve.
Mm.
So abroad is not even on the same. It's an insult
Yeah.
to
They are
even,
not having
you
strike. In
know.
fact, when she said that, I was like,
Yeah, I was
what?
like,
I know
yeah.
somebody who just started university and she's collecting her lectures online. Please.
There's no, disturbance.
Like, oh,
So
no.
I think my thing is, from what I'm hearing, right, the government started out at a 20. I think the government wanted to do 20, they wanted 70 billion.
Mm.
Mm,
And the government made them at 40. And then some group that isn't part of ASU, so they're like so they're not the lecturers, maybe they're like the lab techs or some of these other support
mm,
staff, and now claiming that, it's not that, because basically I think that 40 billion will be split 75% to the lecturers and 25%
mm,
to these other people, and they are saying that it's not enough for them, so that they may now go on their own um
mm.
strike.
Strike.
My thing is, I don't think ASU or the lecturers, to be honest, were fighting for the, like, fight for your own right. I get that, but where are the students
Yeah.
impact here. Do you get what I'm
Mm.
saying? I feel like that's totally lost, and I think part of the reason for this strike is that the government wanted them to migrate to one particular payment platform, and they said no. And I'm like,
Hmm.
if and to me that no seems to be based on maybe we can do more mago on our own
Mm,
existing system. If we move to your own system, you may uncover things that you're not meant to uncover, which is typically what the motive for all this
yeah.
hullabaloo typically is. So to me, I just feel like this is just where sometimes we deserve the government that we get, because
Mm.
it's not Buhari now. Like, as a nigga, what I'm saying, like, it is us that are trying to keep a system that maybe allows us to be more corrupt. And you're going on a
Mm,
9-10 month strike. So
I think something needs to be done for strikes not to last this long, especially with the education sector, because it is so bad that somebody was supposed to graduate, then now you now have to, like, where do you even start from? You've already planned your life that at least you'll be able to finally graduate and then see what then happens.
that was how
It
that
is so
babe's
sad.
wedding that was hinged upon her
Yeah,
graduation.
exactly. And then now she has to wait an extra year. She doesn't know what to do. It's so unfair for students because it's like you work all this time. There have been, and the problem is, it's not like almost every year ASU goes on strike.
Mhm.
So it's not
mm,
like you were living a life or going through university and you didn't have strike. Already a 4 year course has ended up being 6 years. Then now again they are doing 9 months of strike.
mm.
I don't know.
Nigerian
I
government, they
don't
be mad.
know. I don't even know. I don't even know who to look at because one side we don't know who is corrupt in this thing now. We don't know who is causing the problem. The issue is that the people suffering are always the students. They are the ones suffering. They are the ones suffering. Don't know.
Anyway, let us, all the best to the Nigerian students next year. Hopefully, this other group gets appeased before you actually have to go back to school, which I don't know.
Mm,
With 30 December, that may be February now at this point.
that is it. Oh.
Anyway, let's migrate to the abroads. I'm
Mm,
going to start with FA on this one. There are two, there are many deaths, but I think the two that I think maybe shook the black community probably the most. I would say Kobe's death was probably number one, and then Chadwick's was
Mm,
was was probably number two.
yeah.
So I will start with you, Effie, as a big fan of at least Kobe. I don't know how much in love you were with Chadwick, but yeah, I'll shout
I
us
didn't
in.
really know. I didn't really know Chadwick, let me not lie. But you see, Kobe Shah, in my mind, that was my husband. But
Mm,
it
mm,
didn't work out. So I don't know why God took him so early. Kobe Bryant's death. Kobe Bryant's death, like we, as in, it was so. I think it happened in
it
January. I
was
think
yeah,
like it
sudden.
was
yeah,
like
late
we're
late
Yes.
entering the new
January.
year.
Yeah.
Little did we know COVID was going to now come and just mess up everything. Like the
Uh-huh.
year already started. I was so. I remember seeing it. I was like, "What is this?" Then I think what really made me sad was knowing that his daughter. I feel like if he had just died alone, I probably wouldn't even. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
weird to say, but like just knowing
Yes.
that, and that was like his. I don't know. They seemed like they had a connection. She was the one that was playing basketball. I was no, that could be. But I don't want to remember it. What's great?
It was really sad.
It
As
was
you
sad.
said, if for two for two people in a family, not
Hmm.
an extended family, or in the immediate
Yeah,
family to pass away so shockingly, and also in extension to the other people that were in that helicopter
yeah,
with
that,
them.
yeah,
Some of them, it was a whole family, mother, father, and the child. Like,
yeah,
it's just so sad because it's like this person is not even old. The father, the child, they
mm.
are not old people. Then how do you start mourning them?
They were not
Right.
sick. Like if someone is sick, you're expecting.
Ehen.
Yeah, but it's like an accident.
This
How?
is somebody that just recently retired and is now living a
Mm-hmm.
family life. The wife and the children will start
He
seeing
just
the
won an
father
Oscar, like
now.
which was like a
Ah
big
ah.
deal for him. Like that, I think it
Oh
was
my
last
god.
year we won.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It was
And
really sad. And then Chadwick. Oh,
Please,
that one.
Chadwick looked sick for a while. So I mean, even though
He
we didn't
was
know,
sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was
people thought
sick.
that it was for a movie role, the way the movie went
Yeah.
Exactly.
down. So it wasn't clear what was the reason for the
Mm-hmm.
change in looks
Yeah.
until his death
And then everything came
came out.
out.
Yeah. I mean,
But
yeah, I'm sorry, go on.
the issue with Chadwick's own is that a lot of he played such a significant role with Black Panther. A
Mm.
lot of young children, young boys related to him so well. So it's like their proper superhero died. As in, I know there are superheroes, there's Batman, there's Superman, there's all these. But Black Panther was that one that a black child would be like, okay, even if it
Yeah.
is fantasy, I too can become a superhero. You understand? So I think that one touched so many kids so badly because it's
Mm.
like, and then even adults, because I enjoyed Black Panther so much. And then I watched other movies that Chadwick did, and he was a good actor. So it's like to even learn that he was struggling so much with this ailment and he was
Yeah.
walking through it. Like his story is just so commendable because a lot of people, especially if you have a bit of money like Chadwick had, what's the point of
Mm.
working? Let me just sit down in the house and be, healing. But he lived his life knowing that one day, it's not as if all of us don't know that one day we'll die, but to struggle and no, it's hard though. Mm.
I mean, I like how you focus because I didn't want to focus on Kobe and what I liked about him.
Mm.
In that, I think I find work ethic or men that have a work ethic and
Mm.
ambition to be
Mm.
extremely attractive. And I
Yeah.
think that even if I mean, even beside whether you think Kobe is physically, whatever the case may be,
Attractive. Yeah.
the drive that he had
Mm.
for
Ah,
the
it
sport,
was too
it
much.
Too
was
Oh.
too much.
much.
And the other thing that I like is that I feel like sometimes we define intelligence as
Brain.
like school books only, but
Yeah.
Kobe
No.
was intelligent about the sport of basketball.
He
And
learnt
that
Yeah.
it
was very,
well.
yeah, like he learned, like he wasn't just using vibes or
Mm.
using passion. It was an intentional study of like tapes and how other players play
Yeah.
to see
And he
how
Mm.
wanted to
how you
be the
can do it.
best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so to me, that dedication to the education of what you, because nowadays it's
Love
very,
and
have a singing passion.
I'm
Okay,
tall.
have you
Uh,
trained your voice? What instruments do you
mm-hmm.
play? Zero.
even in that same game of basketball, like there are people that are just in it just for the celebrity status. Like they kind of
Exactly.
like they're
Yes.
interested,
Right.
just like who am I sleeping with? Who can I get? But this guy was like, oh no.
And so one is the education, the other one is the work ethic. First to
Mm.
come, last to live.
Yeah.
I'm a star, but I'm still working at it. I'm still pushing the
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. You get what I'm saying? Where young players
Yeah.
are coming in, maybe they have like one great season and then they chill up or something. He is like, I'm
Mm.
going.
Yeah.
And to me, any great athlete has the same
Mm-hmm.
story. I am
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the laziest person in the room
Mm.
by a long
Never.
stretch. I
Mm-hmm.
may be a celebrity, but I do not take my job for granted. Like I
Yes.
train, I put the effort in. So to me, it was anything that endeared me to Kobe. It was just that laser focus on his
The
job.
job.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and whatever it was required for him to be successful at
He
that
did
job.
it.
And so for me, I
Yeah.
think what broke my heart in the death was, I feel like from a wife standpoint, right? If your husband is like that, you almost on some level have to be willing to give him to the game, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And so he just recently returned back to you. I think he had just retired maybe a year or two
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
prior. So he just recently came back to you, and you didn't even have 2 years before
Hmm.
he was taking it away from you. So for me, that was what really crushed my spirit with the whole um thing. But may their very gentle souls rest
Rest in
in
peace.
Mm.
peace. Now, speaking of black men, let's jump into Black Lives Matter. I mean, Black Lives Matter has been ongoing for years, but this year it kind of came to a head
Mm-hmm.
with the murder of George Floyd. Um,
Yeah.
and there were protests in the US, and and in my honest opinion, I think, or I'll say two things, right? In my honest opinion, I think that if George Floyd didn't happen, Trump may have won the election
Yep. I
again.
agree.
I think that the George Floyd thing, and it's almost similar to NSAS. I think
Mm.
the difference is the timing, because it was George Floyd in the summer and we had to go vote in November, right?
Mm.
And I think many whites felt guilted into at least support, at least do something,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Following the attention that the whole Black Lives thing got this year.
Mm.
But I say that to say, in linking the whole Donald Trump thing is that I think this country is still very much divided, where I feel like both
Mm-hmm.
sides of the aisle, right,
Mm-hmm.
are not trying to hear what the other side has to say or trying to have grace for the other side, right? And I don't think that Biden's win would has closed that gap, right? I think people just made the choice that maybe I can't in good conscience support Trump, so therefore I will vote
Mm,
Biden. But
mm.
but it's not like I really, you know, I'm so united, if that makes sense. So I feel like the US has a long way to go on both sides of the aisle to really heal what this divide is. 'Cause I think if there's any blessing I think that Donald Trump gave is the fact that I think that Americans have a tendency to try to sweep race under the carpet, right? Like, oh, it's not a big deal. We love all
It's not
people.
happening.
But the
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
but the votes that Donald Trump keeps on getting show that there are people that there's a divide, right?
mm,
And for whatever reason that there is that divide, I think there needs to be a conversation about, you know, closing that gap. Because I don't know that we can have black empowerment without support from the current like I don't think any oppressed people without
Yeah.
war or anything has gotten up the
Yeah.
ladder without the support of
mm.
the person that's sitting there. So to me, I think there has to be some sort of coming together. Now I think that if the election was in 2 or 3 years, maybe Trump would have still won. If
Mm.
versus what happened now. Then the other thing that I would say is I know that in sports in the US, taking a knee during a game or whatever has been very controversial. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I was also like, let's focus on the game and keep politics out of it in a sense.
Mm.
But one thing that I think I have to give the English Premier League a lot of
Mm-hmm.
props
Thank you.
for
Yeah,
is
I wanted
that
to say that. I wanted to
it
say that
didn't
because yeah,
yeah, it didn't even seem like a question. We take the knee and we move on.
move
And
on.
every
Every till
game,
today.
yeah, every game today we take a knee for racism in general, not only Black lives,
Mm-hmm.
like any form of racism, and we move on.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah.
politics. It's
And
like
they're
almost
still
the
saying no
the
to
anthem.
racism.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
almost like the anthem. You play your anthem and then you move on. So for me, I think that their ability to get there shows just where we are as
In
a
the
US
US.
group. Yeah, that we're
Mm.
still debating whether now I don't know if they sing the anthem, to be honest, though, during the soccer matches. Maybe that's part of the issue there. But I feel like the fact that it was a no-brainer for the English Premier League, like, it just seemed like people just like, oh, sure, yeah, let's take a knee and
No,
move on.
it just started happening even in the first few weeks when they were wearing what were they wearing? They were
The
wearing
Black Lives
yeah,
name
the
on
I
their
think the
jersey.
yeah, or it just happened automatically. It wasn't something to be sitting down and thinking about, you understand? So I think to for the fact, as you have said, Olori, for the fact that there was a debate happening. It reached the point of debate in the US where the story developed in the first place is a problem.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that with the with EPL doing that, that means racism has stopped. But for the fact that it has stayed consistent and it just happened automatically, that is what it is. Because if you start to question, questioning then starts to breed, okay, what is your point? Like, why? I know you're saying that politics should not enter sports, but it happens in the English Premier League. We don't even notice it. It just happens 1 2 minutes. How many minutes does it happen? And then we move on to the sport. So at least just do that one. Let everybody move on. Even if it's for antics, just do it. But then it's questionable when people start saying, we will not do this is that. It's
But to
sad.
give their perspective, right? Many American games start with the national anthem,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you're not standing or or putting your hand to your chest, or for an anthem, it seems like you're disrespecting the anthem. If that makes sense. So I think the initial backlash from like during the Colin Kaepernick day, right, was
Mm,
that in kneeling during the anthem, because that basically when it happened is you kneel during the
yes.
national anthem. Many people
Yes.
saw that as being disrespectful to the anthem
Mm,
and
mm.
to the country. Now in the UK,
There's no anthem
right?
singing.
There's no anthem singing. Is after we do the whole, before the kickoff, right? Everyone's
Yes.
like a moment of silence. We all take the knee,
Mm.
and then we move on. So I wonder if we took it out of the anthem side, if it would have been depoliticized, if that makes sense. Because the whole argument around the kneeing was really about, are you disrespecting the flag, the country?
The
And many
anthem.
black people felt that this country hasn't protected me, so I don't mind disrespecting.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. So
Maybe
that's where
this.
the politics came in.
Yeah, maybe the strategy would have been to kneel immediately after the anthem or something. Not do it when the anthem is being sung or something.
Mm.
That might have helped. I don't know. To be honest, it's not. I'm sorry to say, it's not as if kneeling down is making people better.
Yeah.
It's not as if kneeling down is making people not step on people's necks. It's not as if kneeling down has helped anybody, especially in sports where racism is also a very massive thing.
Mm.
So, like, I'm two sides about it because a lot of things that people write is just like when you go to a company's website and they say we are equally blah 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 blah. It's all to talk, but then after you say we are equal, they say you're asking the person what is your gender, what is your this. Why do you need that information if you're equally papa papa? Just ask from the person's name. But you
Right.
then
Mm-hmm.
ask what is your nationality. No, nationality is fine. What is your you now say black this or white this or Caucasian or why? By the time you
Mm.
start going in there, you're not equally whatever that they are talking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, have we covered Donald Trump, or do we still need to say any
I,
more
I, I the
words?
only thing I want to say is that I even think Donald Trump would have still won if he handled Black Lives Matter and COVID better.
True. True.
And no, oh, no,
I
so
Possible.
so I disagree on the COVID. I think he had escaped the COVID because of two things. One,
okay
I think he did a good job of blaming
in
China for COVID.
yes yes
Two, he had given Americans a palliative check,
mm-hmm.
right? And then three, between him and the guy in New York, they were having daily press conferences that made it seem like he's working. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I think
mm,
he had managed.
even
It was
he even
CNN.
said COVID is fake. Even he even gave that narrative that COVID wasn't real at one point, so that
Or
would
that you
have even helped.
exactly, or that you can even use chloroquine to cure it, right? So
Yes.
for me, I think that it was even CNN that was trying to remind us that, okay, if this guy had acted in December, maybe we will not be here. But I think he did
Mm,
a decent job of deflecting,
the
you know,
news,
the news, and then also making it seem like if we lock down because of COVID, the economy would be impacted. So
and
there
that
may
is what China
yeah,
wants.
and many people were like, if I'm home, I can't, because people that are working in restaurants, they're like, I cannot go to, I can't earn money if I'm sitting down in a lockdown,
Hmm.
environment. So I think, like, to me, I think he was able to maneuver COVID. It was the George Floyd that I think that 'cause maybe he underestimated the knock-on effects, because I think what George Floyd did was that they were like, the blacks were able to successfully guilt trip, in my opinion, whites into joining or supporting or putting their
Yeah.
money where their mouth is. And he did not
Mm,
anticipate that white, support and money following the Black Lives
Yeah.
thing. I would even say, like, the reason why we have a black vice president today is because of Black Lives Matter, or like the
if
whole
not,
because I
yes,
think Biden wanted a woman VP, but it wouldn't have been
Mhm.
Kamala.
yes,
It
yes.
wouldn't have been her. So
Mm,
not that she's not qualified or anything, but I think his first choice was not going to be Kamala, in my opinion, because she didn't,
mm-hmm,
because
Yeah.
she dropped out early on. So I don't think he would have thought that she had enough political sway to
mm,
land votes for him. Um, but yeah, so I think definitely Geoff Floyd is what kicked Donny out of the house.
out of the house, yeah, because most people who wouldn't have voted went out to vote.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Oh.
Anyway,
It be this. This are
If it
happening.
is so,
at least Trump was having press conference, where did our presidents did he even address us during COVID? Buhari, I don't really recall
Abba.
any address.
Abba.
Buhari
Uh,
is, I beg. You can't even compare that guy.
Olari. You talked about Trump, then you brought Buhari.
I mean,
Abba.
no, sorry,
As
Trump,
in,
for any
I
insults.
know, like I know Trump has his issues. He has a lot of issues, but when you look to the other side of Buhari, Abba, that
Have bread.
my dear.
Uh,
Anyway, let's do one last topic, and then if you want to be our resident breaking news person, we can do that. Um, Jada Smith and August Alsina and the
entanglements.
entanglements.
Woo, woo,
That
woo,
What
that
of
was
woo,
a
the
woo.
year?
that is the word of the year to me. After this is off your mic, right? So Jada, when she was on a break from Will, I guess, had
Mm,
a dance with a sexual or romantic dance with August. For me, this is
Mm-hmm.
what I'll say. I think that Jada got off easy in the sense that if it was a man, we'd be screaming "men has come."
Yeah.
But
mm,
for her, we were trying to understand maybe it's mental health, maybe she'll help my sister. I think it's best to clarify what you're on a break from. If you're going on a break in a relationship, like what's allowed um
Hmm.
on this break versus what is not
Yeah.
allowed on this break. And to me, from Will's body language, I get the impression that he didn't want to embarrass Jada on that red table interview, number one, and then number two, they've already resolved the issue in house, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that he agreed with her with her version of events. Yes, we were fighting, but we were on a break. I don't think like she made it seem like it was okay because of where they were in their and I don't think Will was on the same page as to where they were in their relationship being okay for that to happen. If that makes sense.
Hmm. I think they were on a break. Oh.
According to her, but for me, from reading Will's body language, I feel like
I think he was hurt,
Okay.
and he was
yeah,
still hurt, so
But
he
the thing is,
needed
yeah,
her.
yeah, but men are always hurt now. It's normal when a woman cheats. When we
they're
do what
supporting
they do,
buttons.
I don't
Effie.
understand what Ife is talking.
Yeah, like
I don't understand what you're
if we're on
saying.
a break, then we communicate that we're on a break and that maybe we're going our separate ways.
okay,
But
but
to say
how do
that
we know he has not done it to her before? We don't know what goes
no,
on in their
no,
mind.
No, no,
maybe
no.
no, maybe he has, but on the particular
We are talking on
um
this particular talk now,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
this particular talk, the way she like, let's not look at men generally. Me, I'm looking at Jada and Will. The
Okay.
body language that Will gave Jada in that
Mm,
red table talk they had, the way Jada was responding, and then the
mm.
way Will was telling her that guy, but you know that like you messed up, Sha. As in, don't try to speak English around it.
right.
Give it
Mm.
to us straight, which I like because at one point I was like, Jada should not start speaking all this English and moving her hand
En-
everywhere. She should just talk
Entanglements.
the talk. Which Will brought her back, and I was like, see, don't confuse the public. Open mouth, talk waiting you do. Which he did. And I like that he did that, not even for his own benefit, but for the benefit of August, because you're giving the boy what see if you took advantage, if you did this, whatever you did, open your mouth and say it. As you've said it now, okay, we are cool, we are this that, we end it there.
Mm.
I know that if it will say as the female advocate that maybe he did it in the past, but we don't know how what she too did in the past and how they
Mm.
sorted it out and how they reached the point they reached or
Yeah.
something. So
And to me,
yeah,
I think that while they were having issues, I don't think that he thought it was as bad as she maybe in her head thought
stepping
it
Mm.
was,
out and
and
yeah.
that made it okay for her to step out. You get what I'm
Yeah.
Mm,
saying? And that's where I feel like there was the disconnect, because if it was the tables were turned, we would tell the guy
Yeah.
that if you are really trying to get a separation, then communicate
yeah.
that clearly. Don't assume that because things are so bad, I'm allowed to step out.
Which for
Yeah.
to August's defense, right, as well, is the way that men are treated against how women are treated. As you, I think you mentioned, Dolores, is the fact that when
Mm.
August came out, a lot of people were like, look at this one. Like, what is your problem? As in, you're
Right.
even lucky that Jada, you had like everybody, like there are a lot of men wishing out here that they would even Jada will even look at their face. Then you're
Yeah.
now coming to cause, it's that kind of how dare you have a problem with it. You understand? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just move on. It was a privilege for you, so you should not
Exactly.
see it as a concern. Which I won't say that I agree with how August dealt with the matter, because at one point I was wondering, is it a publicity stunt? Is it to sell album?
Yeah.
Is
It's
it
true.
what? But then I don't believe, especially as we have come to this, okay, especially as females, equal rights and equal this thing, a man should not express his emotions, because he was saying it that he felt hot or whatever, so
Mm.
he should not take backlash for expressing himself. That's why
Yeah.
I think I'm saying, which it wasn't fair. A lot of, and maybe that's why Jada got it easy, because it's like, I beg, go and sit down, you're a man, so sort
Right.
yourself out, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jada, the way she expresses herself, I mean, I'm all for being opinionated and, express yourself, but I feel like she needs to calm down or pipe down a little bit, especially, like, I feel there's a way she could have said it without, I mean, like you guys said, our uncle, my uncle, Uncle William, was quite, actually, his name is not William, what am I saying? But he was hurt by that whole thing, sure. Should have calmed down small, sure.
At least they're still together. I'm happy about that. Everybody's moving. Hopefully August is okay. Hopefully he sold some records. Like, he even had an entanglement song. Like,
Yeah.
getting some
I hope
advantage.
he cashed out of that.
Yeah, because unfortunately, in all this, if we look at it truly, truly, who is the loser here? Loser. Now
Hey.
it's him. Because I didn't know him before Jada came into the
Me
picture.
too.
And
Wow.
now, after they've had all this entanglement, I don't still know his music. So
Wow.
I'm sorry, but then
Jada has had a tough time, please. It's been a tough
the
one.
guy has had a tough time, Sha. I feel bad for him.
So I mean, that's our show for the year.
COVID is out there. Oh, stay safe. It's not
Stay
about
I
safe,
be
oh.
oh, stay
abeg.
safe. Oh, don't come doing
Let's see you in
party,
the new
oh.
year.
Ah, please, happy New
Abeg.
Year and
Happy
God
New Year in
bless.
Happy
advance.
New Year. 2020 was great, but 2021 is gonna be banging.
And me Jesus.
Oh, ladies, it was good. At least let's celebrate. One thing that was good with this 2020, we started a podcast.
That's
Hello.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Whoo! I wish I had a bell to ring, but I don't.
As
But
in,
yeah,
gong, gong,
whoo!
gong, gong,
Bagam,
gong.
bagam, bagam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we've been talking about this for like years. Let's also be
Yeah.
clear on that. Yeah, this has been
Yes,
years in the
we
making.
have.
Honestly.
We didn't know we could do it until COVID struck.
But to Jesus be our glory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
glory.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
Anyways,
God.
ladies, see you all
See
next
ya.
year.
Bye.
Wow.
Bye.
If it change next year, will change.
Kilo